how do those challenges you were just describing tie into this why Dragonboat?
Sure. So when we set out to look for a portfolio management tool, because there are so many options out there, it can be overwhelming, right? So we wanted to ground in what you're looking at here, which were like the main goals that we had in mind when we were evaluating a tool. So that's where we started versus looking at tools and just figuring out their capabilities. What do we actually want to get out of, so like product management? What are the problems we want to solve? And then what are the tools that can solve those problems versus looking at the tools first? So this is where we landed on this bullet list of single source of truth, smarter outcome-based decisions, the visibility, streamlining status and increasing cross-functional transparency. So before we had this tool, we had statuses in all different places. They were manually updated, sometimes not consistently, not accessible to everybody. So trying to streamline that. And then improving confidence with better resource estimating and planning. So that was our kind of short list of main goals. Not to say that these were the only problems we had to solve, but these were the big things.
The big vision.
And so, I went through this evaluation, narrowed down the tools, did a couple of pilot programs where I, Dragonboat being one of them, where I actually asked a couple of PMs who volunteered to go into the tool, start using the tool, give me their perspective on how it could help them in their day-to-day. While I, in parallel, went in and was creating views and playing around and seeing like what sort of stakeholder management types of activities it could also suffice. And at the end of the day, we landed on Dragonboat for a number of reasons. The first and foremost was that truly it was one of, if not the only solution I could find that actually focused on outcome-based decision element, allowing us to tie our feature ideas directly to our company OKRs and product objectives, which then tied into our ability to slice and dice things and create these reports that show the cross-org senior leadership visibility into where their investments are being made and how is their money being spent against the goals that they have set for the organization. And so those two things combined were very big wins. And then what put it over the edge, well, there were a couple of things that put it over the edge, but the two-way Jira integration was a huge factor because all the other tools that I found had a one-way integration where you could push to Jira, but it wouldn't go back. And so having this really flexible and robust two-way integration allows product to do whatever they need to do, however they need to do it in Dragonboat, and without asking engineering to change a single thing about how they operate day to day. And also allowing product to be in their Scrum teams in Jira, managing stories and all that stuff, and knowing that the connectivity is there and that the data is always going to be in sync. And that was a really big thing for me, as trying to establish this single source of truth, rather than these other tools where I would then know that there was always going to be this kind of split of information. And then the way y'all supported me, like you held my hand through all of this stuff, and helping me come up with it really felt more like a partnership than a vendor-customer relationship. And knowing that you guys would be there for me to help me figure out the right way, best practices, and you were as much invested in my success as I was.